Let's meet our first employee. Hi, Jim. Now let's meet another employee. Say hello to Sue. Jim and Sue are accountants who work in the same agency. Their job duties are the same. They both examine, analyze, and interpret accounting records so they can give advice and prepare statements. They also maintain petty cash funds, maintain fixed assets on Wolf's, and review and approve Department Wolf's documents for AP and AR. Now let's practice setting a target range for Jim and Sue. Because they have similar job duties, they should be evaluated at the same target ranges. Let's practice setting a target range for communication. First, let's review the definition of communication, which is included in the supervisor planning form. Communication is defined as delivering clear, timely, effective transmission of information and taking responsibility for understanding others. Using skill in presenting information, analysis, ideas, and positions in a clear, concise, accurate, and convincing manner, as is appropriate for the audience. Recognizing the individual's role as a representative of the state of Wyoming and not presenting personal views. Now let's look at the target ranges for communication. There are 5 ranges, A through E, which represent increasing levels of competence. Let's consider each target range, starting with the minimum expectation for communication laid out in target range A. A position that is set to this target range asks that an employee ensures that regular transmission of information occurs based on the need of work, the individual, management, or situation. Listens actively, asks clarifying questions, and summarizes or paraphrases what others have said to verify understanding and asks appropriate questions. Because target range A is the minimum expectation for any employee, this could definitely apply. But let's take a look at the rest of the target ranges. Target range B represents the next level of competence. A position that is set to this target range for communication asks that an employee readily, clearly, and effectively conveys information, ensuring it is understandable as evidenced by the reaction of the recipients, thinks through what is to be communicated, and organizes thoughts and ideas. Considering that Jim and Sue need to prepare statements, this target range applies as well because that task requires that they convey information in a clear, understandable, and organized manner. Let's take a look at the next target range. Target range C represents an intermediate level of competence. A position that is set to this target range for communication requires that an employee uses a variety of techniques to tailor transmission of information to specific audiences, understands, organizes, and analyzes what one hears and reads to decide what to think and do in response to a message, organizes work in a manner that is clear and easy to follow, commands attention, and achieves desired results. This target range does not fit Jim and Sue's job duties because the daily work of the position is focused on structured computer databases, and they don't need to utilize a variety of communication strategies or tailor their communication to various audiences. So far, we've determined that Jim and Sue's position can be expected to meet target range B, but not target range C. Just to be sure we haven't overlooked anything, let's look at target ranges D and E. Target range D represents an advanced level of competence, and a position set to this target range for communication can be expected to identify and use effective communication channels and methods, identify barriers, and apply systematic sets of procedures to eliminate or reduce problems and implement the most appropriate course of action. Target range D does not match Jim and Sue's job duties because someone in this job position is not expected to identify communication barriers or determine appropriate courses of action as expected in target range D. Target range E represents the highest level of competence and are generally assigned to those positions that provide direction and leadership. After considering each of the target ranges for communication, we can see that target range B is the best fit for Jim and Sue's job positions. Please note that we didn't select target range A because that represents a lower level of expectation, and target ranges should always be set to represent the optimum performance target.